Welcome back to Lone Star Spirit. We are continuing our tracking of Hurricane Beryl as it races towards the Texas Gulf Coast. We're going to look at the 4 p.m. update from the National Hurricane Center and the National Weather Service. We're going to spend a little bit of time on the potential impacts from the different aspects of this system coming in, and we're also going to look at a few of the updated graphics and take a look at the models as we go through. We're going to start off with our latest information from the National Hurricane Center. Of course, we're going to have a lot of wind associated with this. The latest local forecast on that is equivalent tropical storm force wind. We're looking at the forecast being winds. These are regular straight line winds. These are not gusts. This is just sustained winds of 35 to 45 miles per hour, of course, with higher gusts. Potential impacts with this, and National Hurricane Center has listed these as significant. There may be some damage to roofing and siding materials, along with damage to porches, awnings, carports, and sheds. A few buildings may experience window, door, and garage door failures. Mobile homes damage, especially if unanchored. Unsecured lightweight objects become dangerous projectiles. Several large trees snapped or uprooted, but with greater numbers in places where trees are shallow rooted. Several fences and roadway signs may blow over. Some roads become impassable from large debris and more within urban or heavily wooded places. A few bridges, causeways, and access routes may become impassable. And, of course, the scattered power and communication outages that are to be expected with this. But this is going to be more prevalent in areas with above-ground lines. With the storm surge, local forecasts, life-threatening storm surge possible. Peak storm surge inundation, the potential for 4 to 6 feet above ground, somewhere within surge-prone areas. And the potential impacts with this, they're listing this as significant. Areas of inundation with storm surge flooding accentuated by waves. Damage to several buildings, mainly near the coast. Sections of near-shore escape routes and secondary roads become weakened or washed out, especially in usually vulnerable low spots. Now, this would be something like Blue Water Highway that goes along Surfside Beach all the way over San Luis Pass. When we've had significant storms come through, that road has been washed out numerous times. There's going to be major beach erosion with heavy surf breaching the dunes, strong and numerous rip currents. This is not the time to get into the water. Moderate damage to marinas, docks, boardwalks, and piers. Several small craft broken away from moorings, especially in unprotected anchorages. With the flooding rain, flood watch is in effect. Peak rainfall amounts additionally 3 to 6 inches with locally higher amounts. Potential impacts, and they're listing this as extensive. Major rainfall flooding may prompt many evacuations and rescues. Rivers and tributaries may rapidly overflow their banks in multiple places. Small streams, creeks, canals, and ditches may become dangerous rivers, and flood control systems and barriers may become stressed. Floodwaters can enter structures within multiple communities, some structures becoming uninhabitable or washed away. Many places where floodwaters may cover escape routes. Streets and parking lots become rivers of moving water with underpasses submerged. Driving conditions become dangerous. Many road and bridge closures with some weakened or completely washed out. And you've heard it, turn around, don't drown. If you come up to you're driving on the road and you see standing water and you cannot tell how deep it is, don't chance it. Just turn around. The tornado aspect of this, Situation is favorable for tornadoes, and the potential impacts are being listed as significant. The occurrence of scattered tornadoes can hinder the execution of emergency plans during tropical events. Several places may experience tornado damage, with a few spots of considerable damage, power loss, and communications failures. Locations could realize roofs torn off the frames of the homes, mobile homes demolished, boxcars overturned, large trees snapped or uprooted, vehicles tumbled, and small boats tossed about. Dangerous projectiles can add to the toll. So all of these new updates from the National Hurricane Center and the National Weather Service are to be taken very, very seriously. And again, do not get in the water. I wouldn't be anywhere near the beach right now. And if you're still at the beach and you live there, it's probably your best bet to get out of here. And you're going to see, once we get into some of these graphics from the National Hurricane Center, these surges are not playing. They don't differentiate. They are there to destroy. So make sure that you have, if you haven't left, get ready to go now. Especially along the coastal areas. You may be able to hear my weather radio off in the background. I have had that thing on nonstop for at least the last 3 days. As I said in the video previously, I've actually turned it up, so you might actually hear a little bit in the background. So, but if pay attention to local weather service broadcasts, the tropical storm warnings, we're going to see a graphic on that. They include a large swath of southeast Texas. But let's go ahead and start getting into those graphics from the National Hurricane Center. Before we get into the National Hurricane Center's latest update, I do want to take just a couple of moments to talk about the weather radio and the frequencies associated with that. I'm going to read off just a few of them that are along the Gulf Coast, and I've also included the one in Palestine. I will also put up the web address where you can go to find the frequency for your area. Houston, Galveston, Victoria, Corpus Christi, and it's going to have all of those labels, an interactive map where you can get the actual frequency and the call sign for that particular station. But we're going to start with the Galveston station. That's going to be KHB 40, and that's going to be at a frequency of 162.550. Corpus Christi station is going to be KHB 41. That's also going to be at 162.550. The Palestine station is going to be KWN 34. That's going to be at 162.450. On Alaska, KXI 55. That's also going to be in the 162.500 frequency range. Brownsville, WWG 34. 162.550. Beaumont is going to be WXI 620. WXI, I believe that's 628. That's going to be at 162.475. Victoria is going to be WXK 34. 162.400. Port O'Connor is going to be WXG 26. 162.475. Richmond is going to be WZ 2572, 162.475, and Bay City, WWG 40 at 162.425. So if you missed that and you want to write those frequencies down, pause it, rewind it, take it back a few seconds so you can get those. I'll also put that, it's going to be over there, the website that you can go to get the correct frequencies, and you may be able to pick up multiple frequencies in your area. I can pick up at least 3 of them here where I am at. So we're going to go ahead and start looking at some of the 4 o'clock updates from the National Hurricane Center that came out, and I think I saved it in the wrong. No, I saved it right there. Okay, so we're going to look at the hazards. This is going to be your tropical storm hazards. These are going to be your hurricane warnings, tropical storm warnings, and hurricane watches. The hurricane watch, you might be able to barely see it. It's going to be right there on that northern side of Galveston Island right there. But you can see in the kind of the brighter red, almost a really dark pink, that's going to be your hurricane warning. And in the counties to the north of Houston, and there's like a line drawn right through Brazoria County, about midway through Brazoria County. It goes into a tropical storm warning, and that tropical storm warning goes all the way to the north to Crockett County. So up there near Crockett, maybe not Crockett County, but that's up there. And Crockett goes up toward Madisonville, Caldwell, College Station, Brenham, there in Washington County, Austin County, Wharton County, all these counties right here that are in this tropical storm warning. And you can see there, it outlines what could be happening with the hurricane warning. Winds of 75 to 85 plus miles an hour with higher gusts are expected into Monday. Tropical storm warning, sustained winds of 39 to 73 miles per hour with higher gusts expected tonight into Monday. And the small hurricane watch, like I said, it's just right there at the very bottom, just below League City. There's a little bit of that purple there. Sustained winds of 74 to 85 miles per hour are possible. And all of these warnings are in effect through Monday, and be prepared to follow local official guidance. Some of the key things to take away from these new messages that are going to be coming in: there is a danger of life-threatening storm surge inundation along the coast of Texas from the north entrance to the Padre Island National Seashore all the way to Sabine Pass, including Matagorda Bay and Galveston Bay. Residents in these areas should follow any advice given by local officials and follow evacuation orders. Beryl is forecast to bring damaging hurricane force winds to portions of the Texas coast tonight and early Monday. A hurricane warning is in effect from Baffin Bay to San Luis Pass. Considerable flash and urban flooding is expected tonight through Monday across portions of the middle and upper Texas Gulf Coast and eastern Texas. Minor to isolated major river flooding is also expected. And of course, rip currents will cause life-threatening beach conditions through Monday across much of the Gulf Coast. Beachgoers should heed warning flags and the advice of lifeguards and local officials before venturing into the water. And if you're getting into the water right now, all I'm going to say is bag of hammers. Here we're going to look at the peak storm surge, and at the 4 o'clock update, Matagorda Bay to San Luis Pass has gone up even more. We're looking at 4 to 7 feet. I believe that is going to be the time frame that Beryl is supposed to hit. We're going to be in a low tide situation, which is beneficial. If it hit during high tide, that 4 to 7 feet could be even more catastrophic with the damage caused by that. But individuals there from Matagorda Bay all along Bryan Beach, Quintana Beach, especially Surfside Beach to San Luis Pass, be prepared for 4 to 7 foot storm surge with Beryl. Here is the rainfall estimation, or the greatest risk of flash flood over the next 3 days. And at the 4 p.m. update, that reddish pink area that's going to be the highest chance for flash flooding has completely engulfed the Houston area and has gone over towards Beaumont and has reached almost to the Red River toward Texarkana up there in far north eastern Texas, almost to the border with Oklahoma. So they're expecting wide scattered and not. It's going to be a lot of rain over the next 3 days in the eastern third of Texas. Here is the cone here, and you can see the path, and they are still expecting Beryl to become at minimum a Category 1 storm before making landfall and going on to that, going almost due north and then taking that northeasterly route into Arkansas, Tennessee, the very tip of Mississippi, Kentucky, Missouri, and into Indiana, Ohio, the Ohio Valley, Kentucky Valley are going to be dealing with the remnants of this storm as well. And we've got I'll also put up the legend here with this. So as the evening progresses and as the storm gets closer, I highly recommend that you go and check if you have access on your phone or your laptop or your desktop at your home to go to the National Hurricane Center and look up their products. It's going to be listed under tropical storm hurricane products, and you can see all of the graphics, and they'll have legends and everything that kind of help you understand everything right there. So that's the latest from the National Hurricane Center. We're going to go ahead and move on into the models and see exactly where these models are saying it's going to go in. Again, I have not looked at these. We're going to look at these models together, but from what I'm hoping is that all three of them are really kind of focused in on one area, and my fear is it's going to be Matagorda Bay that's going to be seeing the brunt of Hurricane Beryl. All right, we're going to start off with the European model with the tracking here for Beryl, and it is currently 5:05 p.m. On Saturday the 7th. And we're going to put this in motion and see exactly where this is going to go according to the European model, and get that in motion there. 995 for our isobars, our millibars, 994, 993, 992. So it's going to show some strengthening right before it gets to the landfall, which really hasn't changed that much since this morning around 10 o'clock. It's still showing that it's going to be kind of in that area just due south of Bay City, right there between Matagorda Bay and East Matagorda Bay. We're going to come back out and see exactly where it goes once it reaches landfall. I'm going to stop it there and get an idea of what the wind gusts are going to be for a few areas there. Let's zoom in. Let's go with Angleton right here. See what the wind gusts at 6 a.m. according to the European model. We're going to have 75 mile an hour wind gusts in Angleton, Texas. Over here at El Campo, we're looking at 70 mile an hour wind gusts. Bay City, it's 55 mile an hour wind gusts. And let's go ahead and get down here where I work, down in this area right here, Rosenberg. We're looking at 68 mile an hour wind gusts in the Rosenberg, Richmond area. And one last before we put it back into motion, we're looking at 61 miles an hour in Katy, or just the area north of Katy. We'll go ahead and move back down. I did not want to do that. I'm trying to move a little bit too fast for this. Okay, so the center of circulation is going to be there just west of Bay City, right there between Bay City and El Campo at 6 a.m. Continuing to move to the north toward East Bernard. Looks like it's just going to go west of East Bernard. And then right there between Columbus and Sealy is where we're going to be seeing some of that motion going. right there, and it's gone all the way up toward Centerville there by 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So it's going to be well away from the coast. But let's go ahead and I want to back that up to about 11 a.m. when it's right there between Sealy and Columbus and get an idea of what wind gusts are going to be. They're 67 mile an hour wind gusts in Katy. Let's look at the Houston area, 70 mile an hour. Baytown, you can expect 63 mile an hour wind gusts. Conroe up here to the north just a little bit, 59 mile an hour wind gusts. So this is going to be a pretty good wind producer, whether it is a Cat 1 or a tropical storm coming in. Chances are this is going to be a Category 1 hurricane upon landfall, at least according to the European model. We're going to go ahead and go with the GFS and see what we've got with the GFS. You can see the center of circulation is here. Go ahead and put that into motion. And it's staying in the 990s and about 995 upon landfall there, and it looks like it's going to be right there in Matagorda Bay, the main part of Matagorda Bay, just east of Palacios. And let's look at some of the wind gusts according to the GFS right there around between Bay City and Palacios. You're looking at 55 mile an hour wind gusts. Let's check Angleton again, 53 mile an hour wind gusts. El Campo, you're going to be looking at about 48. And we'll check Katy up here, 35 mile an hour wind gusts there in Katy at 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. Go ahead and put this in motion. 993, 989, 985. So for a little bit after it has reached landfall, according to the GFS, it does have the chance to strengthen just a little bit more. And we'll check in the Damon area, 67 mile an hour winds. Houston, you're looking at 60 mile an hour wind gusts. And check back at Katy, 65 mile an hour wind gusts. Let's check Baytown, it's 54 mile an hour wind gusts. And get it back in motion. We'll zoom out just a little bit. It's going to go east of Columbus, very close to Brenham, going up almost dead center on College Station. As you can see here, it's going to be, looks like the center of circulation is going to go right over the Bryan College Station area. Wind gusts there in Huntsville as of noon tomorrow, 61 mile an hour wind gusts. Over at Livingston, we're looking at 49. Leona, 58 miles an hour. So the majority of tomorrow, starting from midnight to noon, we're going to be having a lot of heavy wind gusts, a lot of rain. The storm surge is going to be pretty intense. It's not definitely not worst case scenario, but it's definitely something that we need to keep our eyes on and be very mindful of here over the next 6, 7, 8 hours. And we're really getting into crunch time with this system. All right, and we're going to go ahead and look at the Icon model. Icon has had this system historically a little bit stronger than the other two, and it's no different here. It's still showing it at 993 as of 5 p.m. today. Let's go ahead and get that in motion. And it continues to strengthen, 989 as it gets closer inland, 986, 988, 985, and right there at 2 a.m. it is pretty much on par with the other two, right there between almost due south of Bay City, right there Matagorda Bay, East Matagorda Bay area. And at 2 a.m. our wind gusts in Lake Jackson, we're looking at 72 mile an hour wind gusts in Lake Jackson, Brazosport area, 73 at Bay City. We'll go ahead and look and see what we're looking at with Galveston, 52 miles an hour there, and in Katy, we're looking at 41 miles an hour wind gusts at 2 a.m. in the morning. Let's go ahead and get this back into play here. And looks like the center of circulation is going to go right over Bay City and go just to the west of Katy. That is 11 a.m. It's going to be just northeast of Brenham and southeast of College Station, really close to Navasota. And our wind gusts, let's check Tomball here. We're looking at 72 miles an hour there. College Station, 71 miles an hour. Livingston is going to be 62 miles an hour. Over in Beaumont, 52 miles an hour. And let's go back to Houston. This is still going to be kind of on that, excuse me, that dirty side. 75 miles an hour with that one. Tomball a little bit closer to the center of circulation, 74 miles an hour at 11 a.m. Katy, 78 miles an hour there. And just for my own personal knowledge, we're going to go with Rosenberg here. Rosenberg, even though the center of rotation is up near College Station, Navasota area, we're looking at 68 mile an hour wind gusts at 11 a.m. according to the Icon model. So this was kind of down and dirty and fast. I know the other ones have been in excess of 30 minutes, and right now time is of the essence. I don't want to take up a whole lot of your time. Hopefully, if you're watching this, maybe you can have it playing in the background or something like that, so you're still getting the information that you need. I do want to take just a second to thank everyone who has been watching these. I've got a very, very, very small footprint, and just if I see just a few people watching it, I'm pretty excited about that. I feel like I'm doing a good service to everyone who watches. Weather radios are going to be your lifeline during the duration of this storm as it comes on shore. Make sure also that you've got your television on, watching Weather Channel, Weather Nation, your local weather reports, something to keep yourself informed as to what is going on in real time. I'm getting a little excited and a little bit more concerned. You might be able to tell that in the tone of my voice here and the manner that I'm speaking. It's a little bit faster. I'm trying not to speak incredibly fast here, but please use common sense during this. I know us Texans down here on the Gulf Coast, if we hear Category 1, we're like, whatever, it's not going to do anything. These are still very dangerous storms, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, but we have to use common sense at this point in time. So please make sure that if you have not put up those outdoor objects, tied them down, put them in the house, put them in the garage, a shed, something like that, you're rapidly running out of time to do that. Make sure you get those projects completed. Make sure you've got your supplies that you need, water, medications, things of that nature, and just use common sense. Do not, under any circumstances, get in the water along the coast at this point. The rip currents, it's an adrenaline rush is not worth your life at this point. The rip currents are going to be extremely dangerous. Also, with the tornado threat, this is going to be during the nighttime hours. It's going to be dark. These are tornadoes that are not going to be seen. So, and they can drop at the drop of a hat. They can come out of nowhere. So make sure that you've got your weather radio on. You've got your KTRH is doing an amazing job following this. Follow your local AM stations. Follow your television stations. Stay informed during the duration of this storm. And I don't know if I'll be back later tonight. I plan on being up when this thing comes on shore. I'm a little further inland, but I've got a lot of family down in the Freeport, Brazoria area, and I've got some family over in the Columbus area, so in Houston, of course. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on what's going on with this storm pretty much the duration of it. It's going to be a very long night for me and possibly a very long day if I have to go to work tomorrow. So everyone, again, please stay safe, use common sense, use logic. Let's get through this with no injuries, no loss of life. We're going to have some property damage, that's to be expected, but let's be smart about all this. It has started raining here where I'm at, so the ground may be somewhat saturated by the time the main event starts around 2 a.m. in the morning. So be mindful if you're driving on the road, you see standing water, don't try to drive through it. Turn around, go find another route. So everyone, this is Lone Star Spirit. I'm Charles. Stay safe out there, and we will see you either later tonight or tomorrow. Have a great one, and everyone be safe.